Oh, oh, if you hear me, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I am back. What's up, peoples? See how my video's doing. All right. Well, let's see. It's another midday check-in. Just trying to see who's available. Hello, hello. Who's there? Who is there? Not nobody messing with me. I just figured I'd do these more often than once a week. I know, Lexi's with me. Lexi's with me for part of the, at the end of the week. But during the week, between vlogging and stuff, I figured why not? Why not do these? Makes it interesting. We can hang out, be us. My lives are not they're not a place for like teaching or anything. It's just like a hangout spot, man. I just do it so I can hang out with my subscribers and we can BS. We usually have a lot of fun. So if this is your first time here and you've never been, cop squat. Like it usually, if people come in, it usually gets pretty interesting. So somebody liked it. Thank you. Thank you. Who's that? Anybody I know? But thanks for the like anyway. I appreciate it. Lurking is fine, but I'd appreciate it if you announce yourself so we can say hi. But you don't have to. So Harley, my dog, was laying in this spot all day, and I thought I'd sit next to her and go live, and she moved. She was like, "I'm not having it," and she was like, "Mm-mm." Hello, me. Hello, Mama. How are you? Mama, is this your first time here? I don't think I've recognized your name before, but welcome to the chat. If this is your first time, I'm glad to have you. And you was on your TV. I know that's kind of cool, right? Like I've done that before. I've gone live and like streamed it. Oh no, you okay? So you're here? Okay. Well, is this your first time in the live though? That's what I meant. Like, is this your first time in the live? I don't think I've ever seen your name pop up, but I'm glad that you're here and I'm glad that you watch us. No, this is not. Okay. I'm sorry then. But I am glad that you like the content. What do you like? Tell me, what do you like most? Like, what's your favorite part of the content? Like, what type of videos do you like? Like, what do you like to see? What makes you watch us? Is it me almost burning down my kitchen half the time? Or watching Lexi yell at me? But I've done that too. I've streamed and like put myself on TV. It's kind of a surreal feeling when you look and you're like, oh, I'm on the TV. Okay. Yeah, my wife's awesome. It's because my wife, this channel even got to the point where it was. So I was vlogging for like a whole year and a half. No. no, a whole year. I was vlogging for a whole year, and and the first video she was on, that video took off. I was like, oh, got it. I get. I guess I know what y'all want to see now. But how are you? What part of the country are you in? Are you having to deal with the weather? Like, are you in the cold parts with the rest of us dealing with this weather? I think it was 18 degrees this morning when we woke up. 18 degrees. It was crazy. And then we lost power. Was it Sunday night? I think Sunday night. Yeah, we lost power. Or Saturday. I can't remember. No, Saturday we went live. So it was Sunday. We lost power. We lost power for about a good hour. It was kind of scary though, because we live in an apartment, and when you open the door, because there's a breezeway, and when you open the door, you couldn't even see out the door. Like, it was pitch black. It was crazy. But we made it through. We had some candles. We just hunkered down on the couch and sat next to each other, us and Harley. And then all of a sudden, the power came back on around 8 o'clock. So we made it through. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here, because I know it's always a toss-up midday. Like, this is the second time I do this, and I was like, I don't know if anybody's going to pop on, because it's in the middle of the day. Excuse me. But Lexi's at work. She's at work. We did some I had to do some investigating. I was trying to find brakes for the car. It's time to put brakes on the car. And that kind of sucks. And we spent a whole lot of money yesterday. We had to buy a tire. Then we got a much needed oil change, air filter. Then we swapped the coolant out on the car. You know, all the fun stuff that cost a lot of money when it's time to maintenance your car. So, but it needed to be done, you know. I know y'all know what they're like. Okay, LaGrange. Now now it's familiar. Now it's ringing a bell, because I remember you saying LaGrange. The reason why I remember LaGrange is because we have a LaGrange, North Carolina. I used to live 20 minutes from LaGrange, North Carolina. So I remember now. I remember now. Sorry, my memory is the worst. I'm the type of person that will forget your name as you're telling as you're saying it to me. And you walk into a room and forget why you walked in there. Yeah, that's me. Hey Zen, what it do, player? Long time no see, man. I hope everything's going well for you. What's going on? What's going on? But yeah, so I'm the type to walk in the room and like literally forget. And the sad thing is I'm not that old. But your boy is turning 47 on Friday. I think I work from home and I'm a full-time content creator. So, but it's still exciting that my birthday is on a Friday. I don't know why. I'm a genius on the rise. Then I'm gonna take that just because I'm feeling that kind of way today. No genius, just experienced. Just been around the block a few times, you know. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. I'm turning 47, and something like so. It's probably a little silly to say, but my one of my favorite video games I used to play when I played all the time was a game called Hitman, and his designation was 47 because he was the 47th clone or something or whatever. on the line, and so that was his designation. So it just seems cool to me that I'm turning 47. What 40-year-old creates a YouTube that's 1% she's? I don't know what that means. I think you're trying to make me more hip than what I am. But it sounds cool though, so I'm gonna take it. And are you still creating? Like I don't even see you. I'm, I'm sure I'm subscribed to you. Haven't seen you create anything in a while. But I try, man. I love being a content creator, man. Like I love sharing. I love the community aspect of the community aspect of this is by far my favorite. Like there's something awesome with meeting, like-minded people and then being able to speak for them to them from your living room. Like that's just awesome. Oh, gotcha. I try, man. I try. And I try and I try to be as confident as we. You should see me when I'm not on camera. And I'm like, oh my god, this video only got this many views, or this is like I'm a wreck. But I try, man. I try. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I try to do the thing. But I learn for a lot. I learn a lot. Like I watch and study all the time. So I'm learning, I still there's some still things I'm still working on. Like um saying things like this. So do me a favor, and if you're enjoying yourself, hit the like button. And if you like the content and you like to support the channel, there's the options to do so are linked below. No pressure, but and I only say that once. But I have a problem. Like I just feel so awkward saying that. It's like, but I mean, like that's the gig, right? That's the job. Like that's what. But I hate I don't like when people like say it like 4 or 5 times over and over again. I say it once and that's it. Oh well, thank you, Miss Mama. I try. We try really hard, and the crazy thing is that Lexi and I are really. You couldn't tell, obviously, but Lexi and I are really not camera people. Lexi more or less than I am. Um, but for Lexi, she loves the engagement too. Like she loves she loves the once I started to grow a little bit and people were responding and she was in videos and people had like comments specifically for her, she opened up a little bit. So now I can get her to sit in these lives for a couple hours once a week. But say it all the time differently. Okay, I'm gonna try. Like it's so like it's so it's so awkward. I want to say I don't know how I feel about it, but it's just I forget to say it all the time in my video and like in any of my content. I always forget to say it, and I'm like, damn, I should have said this, and I always forget. So I have to like tell myself like this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like this is what they do. So, but I'm learning. I'm getting there, man. I'm still freshly monetized. Like I've only been monetized a couple months, so I'm learning it. I'm learning. So, but again, thank you guys for being here. It's awesome. Word up. Check my phone. Uh, uh, I don't see nothing. But Well, how's you guys' day going, man? How's the weather like you're at? Like, is it still problematic where you guys are at? Well, Mama, you said you in Georgia, so you're probably doing a little better than I am. But Zen, where you at in the country? What state you in? We and how you how's I know you're a big Boston fan. How's Boston doing this year? This I'm not a really a sports like I like the Bulls. I'm a Bulls fan. I've been since the '90s, since I was a kid. But I'm not a I'm not somebody that like actively keeps up with it. So, but my wife's a Knicks fan, so she watches the Knicks game. You in the Super Bowl? Oh, you in Florida? Oh, that's what's up. I was in Florida for like a year, down in Margate, Broward County. I wasn't feeling it. I had to come back. You're in Florida. Who's in the Florida's in? I mean, the Florida. The Super Bowl's in Florida this year. I didn't know that. That's how much I've been paying attention. I happen to be a Jets fan, and the last time we made the Super Bowl, like I wasn't even a seed inside my daddy's junk. So I haven't been every year is just like it's just it's just violins and cheese for me. So 39 degrees. Okay, you didn't have any bad weather. That's awesome. Oh, you're a Pats fan. You're a Pats fan. Gotcha. Makes sense. Boston. Got it. You're a Pats fan. Yeah, you guys are like that's amazing. And that says a lot about the team that y'all back without Belichick and Brady. So that's awesome. That's awesome to see. I'm happy for you. And if I'm not mistaken, your quarterback played is from UNC. If I'm not mistaken, he's from UNC. And then also another cool thing is that there's a player, I can't remember his name, but there's a player on Seattle that that is from Goldsboro, which is the city that I spent the last, I don't know, 14, 15 years in. Yeah, Drake May went to okay, yeah. So and then there's a player for the Seahawks who's from Goldsboro, which is where I own my house, where I spent the last, like I said, 15 years. So that's pretty cool. If you know like Goldsboro's this big, so it's exciting that there's somebody in the Super Bowl from Goldsboro. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm happy for Sam Darnold because the Jets drafted him, and then didn't do him right, claimed he sucked, and now look where he's at. Like, yeah, go Jets. But 39, Miss not Mama. I was stationed in are you near Augusta by chance? I was stationed at Fort Gordon when I was in the Army. I did my specialized training in Fort Gordon. I had a blast. It was fun. I liked Georgia. I liked my time at Georgia. It was pretty cool. It was pretty exciting. Hey, Miss Wanda. Well, thank you, Miss Wanda, and thank you for watching the vlogs. Is this your first time on the live? And if it is, thank you for being here. Thank you for the salute. And yes, Darnold does have a great comeback score. I argued. I'm like, he is not a bad quarterback. Like, we need to keep him and build. And the Jets, what I say, but Miss Wanda, thank you from Springfield, Massachusetts. So, are you a Pats fan, Miss Wanda? Oh, well, thank you. We usually go live on Saturdays, Miss Wanda, and that's when you can catch Lexi and I, because Lexi Lexi gets off early. Right now, she doesn't have an assistant, so she's been working 6 days a week, which kind of is bittersweet because she's like, yay, I'm making extra money, but then she's working 6 days a week. So on Saturdays she gets off early, so we usually go live together on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're not doing anything, you can catch us then. But I just decided, I don't know, to start going live during the week. Like a lot of time, if I'm not running errands or cleaning up or whatever, I'm usually vlogging. But then sometimes vlogging doesn't take all day to do, so I'm sitting here like not twiddling my thumbs about I'm trying to come up with content. So I'm like, what better way to do so than to go live? Hey, Miss Mirage. Hey. So, but so yeah, so that's what we do. So feel free to stop on by. Miss Mirage, how's it going your way? You I saw your message the last time we went live, but it didn't pop up on my like the chat. Like it came through like a regular message on YouTube, and I saw it afterwards. But I'm glad you got to pop in. That was great. So, but yeah, so we we got some I hope everybody enjoyed the vlog yesterday. It was yesterday's vlog was kind of fun. I did a lot of talking, and it was because like I kind of just wanted to like converse. Like I just wanted to. I didn't want. Usually, I try to make them feel like a little movie esque. But I was like, I just feel like chatting. So like I was running my mouth. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Um, it's cold in Central Florida. Well, yeah, it's January. I'm sure like when I was there, like around January for like a week, maybe 10 days, it got cold and then it went back to normal. One of the worst colds I ever had in my life was when I was in Florida. It was bad. And you're a Pats fan for sure, Miss Wanda. Okay. Okay. Your nips were freezing here walking your dog. um, Pats fans. I'm surrounded by Pats fans, and I'm a Jets fan. Like that's bad. I won't argue. 31 degrees, dude. It was 18 degrees here this morning when we woke up. Like you should have seen me bundled up walking to the car, like to go start it because we don't have a remote start. So I had to go walk to the car to turn it on for Lexi so that it'll be warm by the time she left to go to work. But it's awesome the fact that you Pats fans are that you guys are back in the Super Bowl. Like that says a lot about the organization. That's awesome. So I have mixed feelings. I usually pull for the AFC team, which are the Pats. But then, like I said, I'm a fan of Sam Darnold's, who's the quarterback for the Seahawks. And there's a player on the Seahawks who's from the city that I used to live at, the little small town that I used to live at. So it'd be kind of cool to see him win, bring a Super Bowl back to Goldsboro, North Carolina. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, yes. And more importantly, Lexi liked it. And she was the one that I was really worried about because I found out that when we in our house for years, she said we had a rice cooker. And I asked her, this was just recently. She was like, yeah, we had a rice cooker in the house. And I was like, why didn't you ever use it? Like, why didn't you? And but at that time, I was working more hours than she was, so she would come home and cook. And so I'm like thinking about how much easier it would have been for her to use a rice cooker. And she was like, I just prefer to make my rice the old fashioned. She's an old school Puerto Rican, like so she and I'm like, okay. So then another subscriber said that they didn't like the way the rice tasted in the rice cooker. So I was nervous about that. And not so much again for me, but for her. But when she said that she liked the rice, I was like, bet that works. And it was so, yes, that is him. That's him. That's him, Zen. That's the guy. Yeah. He's from Goldsboro, North Carolina. So that's cool. And that's where I lived for the last, like I said, 14, 15 years. That's where my house was. Um, but she she she's old school, so I was really worried that she would be biased to the rice, so to speak. So but when she tasted it, I'm not sure if you saw yesterday's vlog, but if she tasted it, she was like, wow, it was amazing. So I was really excited about that because I'm trying to like buy myself time because I'm always like working on content, whether planning, recording, whatever. And I'm like, it'd be so much easier if I could just put this stuff in and then walk away and not have to worry about like standing at the stove and stuff like that. So it was really awesome to be able to do that. So that was awesome. Hey, Miss Eva. Thank you for showing up. I shouted you out in yesterday's vlog. I don't know if you say it. I was like, I was on live and I was hanging and banging with Miss Eva for a while I was on live. So you're like my bestie now. But so it was really cool to have that, to be able to do that. So I was glad. And the fact that she liked it, that means that I can keep doing it. Like, and it won't be a problem. So you know, not for colored rice. That's an I haven't. I've made yellow rice like a long time ago. I haven't done it recently, and I'm pretty sure I can remember how to do it. But that's interesting. That why is there a particular reason? Is there a particular reason why you don't like the yellow rice, like the colored rice in the rice cooker? Like, is there a reason, or is this your preference? You're digging yourself out of snow, Miss Eva. Wow, I can imagine what you got up there. Like that's crazy. Oh, so you make yellow rice and candules and you're right. Oh, okay. I loved it. I think it was wow, 2 feet. Oof. I think it was so much fun. Like I was like, and then it was done in like I want to say like 10 minutes. It was done. Like I heard, and then it stayed on warm. I was like, oh, this is dope. I was like, yeah, I'm cooking rice all the time. But like I said in the video, like if there was a way where I could take a little pill and just hit it in the microwave and be like, bam, I would cook all the time. No problem. No questions asked. Got it. We're having Thanksgiving every dinner, every day. Vlog me making colored rice in the rice cooker. I could do that. I might do that today or tomorrow. Well, no, today we're having burgers. I have an idea for some really good burgers today, but tomorrow I might do that. I feel you. I feel you. And that's I mean that's cool. Like I said, like um Lexi's the same way. Like, she's old school about certain things. She's like, I gotta do it this way. So I feel you. I can understand that. I can understand that. And then for a lot of now, here's something. So for a lot of people who cook and have been cooking for years, it's not so much about the turnout of the food as opposed to they just love the process of what they do, and I can respect that too. Like I feel you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We making you hungry back then. I feel you. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. Remember, very little oil, sofrito, sazon, gandules. Got it. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow. She's gonna be so shocked when I make yellow rice because Lexi is known for her yellow rice. Like her like the kids love it. Like it's a big deal. Our son, um, his first uh his second wife, because he's back with the first one that he had, but his second wife that he was with for a while, um, actually both of them, like he's like had them learn how to make the yellow rice the way Lexi makes it, and he critiques it like he's like not quite there yet. So my mother-in-law, my mother-in-law makes some really good rice. She makes really good rice. Like every time she's around, and she's older now. It's like she's I think my mother-in-law is getting ready to be 80 this year. So like when she's in the mood to cook, like we get excited. But oh yeah, like he comes when he comes to visit. When he comes to visit, he has a list of like this is what he wants his mom to cook. Like day one, day two, day three, until he leaves. the first day the first day he usually we buy out, we buy out, but then like the next day he's like, all right mom, like I want this is what I want. And then like there's a whole conversation every time he visits. There's a whole conversation on what's being cooked for the next however many days he's here. It's awesome, and she loves it. Like she loves like cooking for her kids. And our daughter is a really good cook too. Like she's an amazing cook. I've done yellow rice on a rice cooker. I mean, like I said, Miss Wanda, like I mean, everybody has their preference, and I mean, like there's certain things I like to do a certain way too, and no matter what anybody says, oh, this is the new improved way, I'm like, I stick to this. I get it. Like everybody, everybody has their vices, so to speak. I get it. I feel you. And like I said, I'm sure for you, a lot of it has to do about the process and not so much, just throwing it in there. I'm sure there's something to that. Now, yeah, like my rice cooker is really small, so it's only big enough for me and Lexi. So, like, if I had, if the kids were here, then yeah, we'd have to use the caldero, and even still, I'm not sure if y'all remember the size of my caldero. My caldero is not even that big. But I mean, it's good enough for like maybe 6 or 7 people, which I guess is a pretty decent sized caldero. But um, so yeah, we would have to make if there was a bunch of people here, we'd have to do it that way too. What I love the most about it, and forgive me for saying it like this because I didn't grow up in the in the culture, but what I loved about the rice cooker was that there was no big out. Like it was so, and not that I ate, like I never ate it anyway, but it was so easy to clean. That's what I mean about it. Like it was so like nothing stuck. Like I was able to scoop everything out and wash it. And the only problem that I have with the pegal is that like now you got to scrape the bowl, or sometimes it's so bad that you got to let the caldero soak and stuff. So that part I was really happy about. That part I was really happy about. So that was awesome. But it was fun. It came out really good. The meat, as you saw, Lexi was like, she was like, oh my god, the meat is so soft. She even went as far to say that she could never get the meat that tender. I was like, huh, pop my collar, like I was feeling myself. But no, it came out really good. And I think that was the last thing I cooked, because the next day she was like she was like, no, like I'm gonna make she bought some cold cuts and bread and stuff. And she knows I'm a sandwich guy. Like I love a good sandwich. So she was like, I'm gonna make some sandwiches for us today. And I was like, oh, I know. Where's JJ at? JJ's probably working. I will vlog it, Ms. Wanda. I will vlog it. So I'm glad. And thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. And you two have enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for stopping in. I Jay, the last time we went live, I asked him that. I was like, "Where you at, man?" He's like, "I was with a client." I was like, "I get it." Like I like a lot of the people that watch us, they work. So I was like, I was really shocked when as many people showed up the last live as they did. Yeah, JJ's just funny, and he's a good man. He's got a good heart. He's got a good heart. Like we've had a few conversations. A snow shovel vlog? Oh no, I don't have to. It don't ever snow that much here in North Carolina. Not that much. It like the last time. What year is this? This is 2026. The last time it snowed really bad to like where you had to shovel in North Carolina was I wasn't here in 25, but 22, maybe 23 was the last time that it snowed really bad where I was like, wow, like okay, like we had to shovel, but it normally doesn't do that here. But the reason why North Carolina is so fretful when it does snow is because it's not like it's not like the up no it's not like the northern states like PA and New York and Jersey and stuff where like they have a whole like winter weather system with plows and stuff like it's where North Carolina is not built like that. Well, at least the east side of North Carolina is not like that. The west side has they get all the snow because that's where all the mountains are and stuff. But the east side it's not like that. So even a little dusting. By the end of the day, well, by the next day you couldn't even tell that it snowed. But it was crazy. So I feel you, Miss Eve. Let me I feel you. Like people I learned the very first time I shoveled snow, I was in my mid 30s and I was still, much younger than I was now and I was that was backbreaking. And then I still had to go to work that day that morning. I was like, wow, like that is no joke. I feel you being too old to be shoveling snow. I feel you on that. That's why I live where I live. I'm like I can't I can't be doing that. I can't be doing that. Folks, if you're liking the live, do me a favor. Give it a like. If you're loving if you love enjoying yourself, give it a like and share this. Like, share it with a friend. Like get more people in, the more the better. Hanging so we can hang out. But yeah, it was backbreaking work. I was like, that's the part about Florida that I miss. Like that was it. Like the fact that the temperature was great and stuff. Like that was the part about Florida that I miss. But Florida is a different. It was a totally different vibe. It felt like I was in New York all over again, and it was it didn't feel I don't know. North Carolina is like I guess more now these days more my pace and more slowed down and everybody's more friendly here. Like in Florida, like people would like you couldn't say hi and spark conversations. Like people were just they were so standoffish. So oh Mirage, you have a YouTube channel. We finna check right now. You make content? That is awesome. I don't know too many content creators, and that sucks sometimes. Right, Miss Eva. I don't know too many content creators, Miss Mirage, and that sucks sometimes. Like sometimes you want to, and the content creators I do know, like we don't make the same kind of content. Hold on, man, I gotta make sure it's called VGG Life Style 66. VGG Lifestyle 66. Okay, I see you, and I subscribed. All right, I will definitely be checking it out. So how long you been at it, Ms. Mirage? How long you been at content creating? This is so dope. Like again, like I don't know too many. Like I met Zen, the guy that's been commenting basketball Zen. Like he's a content creator, and that's how I don't even remember how we found each other. But one day I subscribed, and he commented back. He was like, "See, now I'll subscribe to you," and I was like, I was like, "Oh, okay." And we've been talking back and forth ever since. But it looks like you just starting. Gotcha. It's let me tell you something. It content creating is so a lot of people don't realize like how much work it is to do it seriously. It's a lot of work. It's mentally draining. It's emotionally draining. Like it's there's so much to it that it's a lot. But it's so like I don't know. I enjoy it. I as stressful as it is sometimes that I'm like, ugh, like it's an outlet for me. So I really enjoy it. I think it's fun, and and then when you meet awesome people like yourselves, like it makes it worth it. But I the first time I had my first channel was in June of 2020. I started during the pandemic, and I did it for 3 years, and I didn't know what I was doing. I burnt myself out, and I felt like I took my channel down the wrong way. And then for like 6 months, 7 months, I didn't do anything. And then in February of 2024, I started this channel, but then I wasn't posting consistently until September of 2024, and that's when like I just hit the ground running. I said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure it out, and I started with shorts, and then around mid October I started vlogging again, and I've been doing it ever since. Is that not how it happened, Zen? Like I don't remember how we met. I just remember like I remember I remember that. I remember I saw your channel and I subscribed, and then I remember that message. You was like, okay, now I'll subscribe to you, and then we've been subscribed. We've been subscribed to each other ever since. But I like your kind. You have a lot of basketball knowledge. Like it's crazy. Like I don't understand. I don't as much as I've been watching sports and like I know how to follow the games. I know and stuff. But like you guys, stats and like the stuff. I'm like wow, like that. I don't know sports like that. So it's intriguing to see. I'm like, wow, like that's a whole like your knowledge is crazy. But that's awesome, Miss Mirage. I would definitely be checking you out. Like I said, I love I love to meet new content creators and stuff. Like it's so much. It's I feel like and I'm only saying this because I've heard. I'm sure you've heard of Mr. Beast, right? Who's from Greenville, North Carolina, which is just 2 hours away from here. And he said that he was like, it makes it. He said I was lucky enough to have a team of that I knew a bunch of content creators, and like we just went and we learned this together and figured out, and we studied and we would compare notes and share notes and stuff like that. It's so much easier when you could do that, but when you're doing it by yourself, like you have, and a lot. If you're not a content creator, or if you're a content creator and you don't know anybody, like people who are not content creators don't get it. Like they don't get it. So trying to have those conversations with people who aren't in the game is could be frustrating sometimes. So because they don't, they think it's silly, they're like, I've had people say, "Oh, you still make your little videos," and I'm like, "Oh, my little videos, okay, yeah, I got it." Like, so it could be frustrating. Oh yeah, is that how it happened? I used to play Apex Legends a lot. Yeah, I used to play it. You didn't like Apex Legends? I used to. Now let me say, I love Apex Legends. Like I love that game, but it does not love me back. Like I'm not as good, or I wasn't as good as I tried to be. And I'm a rager. I'm a rager. Like I get so frustrated that I had to stop playing. I got to a certain point that I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like it's frustrating. It makes me upset. Like I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I had to stop playing. But I loved my son got me into Apex Legends, and I was addicted. Like I loved it. And I've been on shooters since the original Modern Warfare, and which I quickly got tired of Call of Duty, but my wife asked me to stop playing Call of Duty. She was like, "Please, just stop playing that game." So I promised that I'll stop playing that game. I was a rager. I was a rager. So she asked me to stop playing that game, and what's bad for me is that I'm so determined to be as good as I want to be that I couldn't handle not being as good as I thought I was, and yeah, so so I had to stop. Like I'm not that good. Like I'm a story gamer. Like I love my favorite games are like story games, like Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, the Tomb Raiders, like stuff like that with a good story, Heavy Rain, like stuff like that, like Red Dead Redemption, where I can get in and just vibe out to the story and immerse myself and stuff like that. Like that constant shooting, like it's fun to be with a group, you know, but then uh like I said, I'm not as good. I don't spend enough time on those games to really compete with anybody. Like these, you playing with guys that don't do anything but play all day every day, and I didn't do that. Like I had a job, I had a life, like so I'd only play for like an hour or two, and then I would get frustrated when I wasn't as good at them, and I get my butt kicked to be promoting them games. But yeah. But it was fun. Those were good times though. I had fun. I had fun. Those were those were those were some good moments. But that's how it happened, huh? So I just popped up. That's crazy. That's interesting how that works. You just one day. How did you guys like? I'm interested. Like, what video did you guys? So Zen, you said it was Apex Legend, but Miss Eva, Mirage, Miss Mirage, who else is in here that is? Mom, Miss Mama, are you still in here? Like, what video brought you guys in? What was the video that you first saw? Like, what got you in here? Shadow Legends. Hell yeah. Oh, you searched for it. But what was the video that got you guys in here? Was it the We're Not Homeless Anymore? Was that the video that brought you in when we moved into the apartment? That wasn't a really you didn't see it in the video because I didn't record it, but that was a two-day video. Like we moved in, so the first shot of us moving in, like that was all we had. Like everything in that video when we moved in, like that's literally all we had because we had at the time were fighting to keep a storage alive. So all our stuff from the house was in the storage, and then we had a storage in Florida. So the only thing we had was the stuff you saw us moving in that video, and then we came in and Lexi and I think we sat here and cried for like a good couple hours. Like like we couldn't believe that we were finally in our own spot. And then the next day, I got up and I did the apartment tour and stuff like that. So, but oh, your real name is Vanessa. Okay, that's a pretty name. Oh, so uh oh wow, like that's the video you came in. The one that said please watch or something like that on the thumbnail. Yeah, that was wow. Yeah, that was a stressful that was stressful. Like we were like I was door dashing and like I don't know where people say they make money door dashing or delivering food, but I had did it for like a year and a half and it did not work for me. I was spending more money. So like I would make money and then it would take me so long to make money and then I would have to like then use the money to fill up the gas tank so that I could get home and then try it again. Like it was stressful. It was so like that time was so stressful. Oh my god. It was stressful. And then, Lexi, I had dealt with it before. Like, I have been down this road before, but it was, having, watching Lexi like realize that, we were just hours from being on the street and like it was bad. No doubt, Miss Mama. I'll probably still be on. I'll probably still be on. I ain't got nothing to do. Oh, well, thank you, Miss Eva. Yeah, it was really it was oh my god, like so many things just and that hotel was so expensive. Like, I mean, it was like $120 a night. And like I said, I was delivering food and I was in so-called the rich area of, I was in Boca Raton, which, ain't nothing but millionaires out there. And like those people weren't tipping. Like they weren't tipping. People, oh, go out to Boca like they tip. Yeah, that wasn't my experience. They weren't tipping. Not for the kind of money you pull up into a house and you're like, wow, and then you get your tip and it's like $2, and I'm like, wow, like I just drove 20 minutes for a $2 tip, and not to say that you had to tip me, but you know what I'm saying, like, and it was rough. Like we would go out. It was so stressful, and we weren't eating. We weren't like it was bad. And that night is when our daughter saw that video and she called us and that's when we had decided. She was like, you guys can come back to North Carolina and stay with me until you get situated, and that's what we did. Like I think a week later is when we left. We got back to North Carolina July 4th. It is. It's saved. Like I have it saved. Um, right now it's a members only video because we're not there anymore, and like I think if I remember right, like I set up a GoFundMe and I tried to get people to donate, which didn't work, and so I was like, well, I don't. This doesn't need to live actively on my channel, so I put it as a members only. So if anybody wanted to see it, they can see it if they're a member. But it was a lot, and it does really build character because it taught me. As a matter of fact, the next vlog I'm coming out, which I'm gonna film today as I'm cooking tonight. Um, it's has something to do with the lessons that I learned during that period. Where Harley looks like a tiger. Where Harley looks like a tiger. I don't know which one that is. Hmm. I have to. There's so many shorts on my video on my channel that, and I was cranking them out. Your favorite videos when I got this apartment? Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was probably my favorite video. That video is what that video blew up. Like that's the video that got me monetized. Like I was not expecting that at all. Like I did that. I think I uploaded that on a Monday, and by the end of the day, no, by the next day, I was like, okay, this is gonna be special. Like it was already performing at a level nothing on my channel had done before, and yeah, that video wound up getting 32,000 views. That was the largest video on my. The color came back for me. Yeah, so it was yeah, that video, that was that was something special. Like, and I gotta tell you that before those videos, like, I used to get told all the time, like, people don't want to watch that kind of stuff on YouTube. Like, people don't want to see stories. They want to see adventure, and they want to see, stuff like that. They want to see excitement. And, I was telling like real life stories. Like I was, documenting stories and moments of my life, and telling stories. And it wasn't until the first one hit. The first one hit the one of us sitting on a couch in my daughter's garage, and that one got over 5,000 views. And then that was a three-part video. Like that was a three-part video, and then so the first one got over 5,000, and the next ones got over 1,000 each, and that was the first time I was like, wow, well maybe. But then, like I said, that was the first time Lexi was a part of the vlog. So oh, well, thank you, Miss Eva. It was special. Like I said, we cried that first day. That first day, I think, like I said, we cried for about on and off, probably all day for the rest of the day. Like we didn't have nothing. We didn't have no furniture. We just had a bed that we borrowed from that my daughter was throwing away. So we took the bed, and then like we had no, we had nothing. But it was ours nothing, if that makes sense. So, and yes, and people be saying anything, like I kept getting told, like, they're like, well, you need to, it's like, well, you need to get a job. You need to get a job. And I used to always argue. I'm like, dude, like, I don't know how many applications I can keep putting in. Like, I've been doing this for 2 years, and I have like every time I even made videos about it. Like every time was like, here's another rejection, here's another rejection, here's another rejection. And I'm like, so I'm like, am I supposed to just do nothing? I'm like, if I don't do these videos, then I'm sitting here doing nothing. And I was like, I'd rather be doing something. I was like, if a job comes along, then I'll take it. Then, but I can't sit here and do nothing. Like this channel is what like kept me sane and kept me going. And, and, it just so happens that, I wound up getting monetized before I found a job. And, um, but I kept telling people, I'm like, dude, if I don't, I'm never gonna get to the point where I'm making money if I stop. Like I'm like, the only way to get to that point is to keep going. And people didn't understand that until one day they were like, oh, they saw a video and they saw that they saw the ads. And they were like, oh shit, he's monetized. I'm like, you know, the only way to get to where you want to go is if you keep going. Like you have to keep going. All right. Like you have to keep going. Like if you stop, then you're like, yeah, I'm never gonna get there now because I stopped. But so that's what I did. I'm like, what else am I to do? Like, I'm like, and it was crazy. I'm like, dude, like, it was funny because the people who were telling me that I needed to how to find a job have never had jobs in their lives. Like they never had 9 to 5. So I'm like, you're telling me, I'm like, what do you think? They're like, are you looking for a job? I'm like, dude, I'm on my phone. Like I can look for a job. I can look for a job from my cell phone. Like I can sit here right on the couch and look for jobs all day long. You did? Okay. Oh, okay. Where we were in this apartment and she's actually like sitting in the same spot where she is right now. Okay. Yeah. I know that video. I remember that video now. I remember that video. Yes, she did look like a tiger because the sun was coming through the whatever these damn things, the blinds. And so yeah, okay, got it now. I remember now. I remember now. But yeah, like people kept telling me, "Oh, you." I'm like, I gotta keep going. Like, what do you want me to do? So I stopped paying attention to them, and I stopped paying attention to I'm like, you're telling me to do something and how to do it, and you've never done it. Like, I'm like, so, and then and then my favorite was that everybody wanted to rework my resume. Like everybody, oh, send me your resume. I'm like, at least my resume has been touched by at least 15 people. Like everybody wanted a shot at reworking my resume. I'm like, I'm like, all right, like, but nobody wanted to hear what I was saying. Is I'm like, dude, no, I'm not terribly old, but I'm in my mid 40s and I'm having to start over. Like, who wants to hire somebody like that? I would have never hired somebody like that. And I would never hire somebody like I have not hired people that I'm like, oh well, where are you coming from? How much money you used to make? And then you hear it, and then you're like, well, shit, like I'm only gonna pay you this amount. And then you don't hire those people because like I didn't hire those people because I knew that the moment this person found something that was worth his time and energy and pay him what he was worth, that he would leave. So I'd be back at square one. So I'm like, I understood why I wasn't getting hired. It didn't feel good, but I understood. And that's why, I had a temporary job and like that manager she said it to me. She's like, I'm take a chance on you, but she's like, are you gonna stick around? And and I was honest. I'm like, well, if I get offered $100,000 somewhere else, yeah, I'm gonna leave for that 100,000. I'm gonna stay at 18 versus 100. Like, I'm like, that doesn't even. And she was like, that's why nobody wants to hire you, because that's what happens. But literally, that's what happens. Like, everybody was like, everybody. I'm like, dude, like, between me and ChatGPT, and I'm like, everybody is like, resume gurus, and people like, send me a resume, and I've had like, I'm like, whatever. And I mean, I did it. I was like, what the hell? But I'm like, everybody thinks that. I'm like, what do you think? Like, I'm not capable of writing a good resume, like, that everybody wants to. So I'm like, I was like, whatever, man. That is exactly what I was being told, that I was overqualified. That is exactly what I was being told, that I was overqualified. As a matter of fact, somebody told me that just yesterday. We went to go get an oil change. We got some service done on the car, and I just happened to mention what I used to do, and they're like, "Oh, you want a job or whatever?" And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, like, I'm looking for a job. But he was like, it was in the industry where I worked, and he was like, yeah, like, you can work as, and he wanted me to start over, and I'm like, I'm not going into the same industry that I used to work at and start over. Like, I'm like, if I'm gonna start over, I might as well go somewhere completely new. And I'm, again, like, I'm damn near 50. Like, I got bad knees, a bad back. I can't be doing that kind of back breaking work at, all day, every day long. Like, I can't do it. So I was like, nah, dude, like, I told you I was a district manager. You want me to come in and be a loop tech? Like, I was like, I can't do that. It's true. It's true. But people here, the thing is like, what I was getting is like, so they're like, wow, how long you been doing this? And then they asked me, they're like, well, what would what did you make in your last job? Like, what was your salary? And I'm like, and I get frustrated because I'm like, dude, like, I'm not, I understand that you're not gonna pay me that. Like, they're like, no, but what did you make? And I'm like, when I tell them, over six figures, they're like, oh, well, we can't pay you that. And I'm like, dude, I saw your job ad. I saw what you're asking. Like, I'm willing to do. And you know, people. And then nowadays, like, even going in, like, I learned that people don't hire you in the position that I was in. People are like, well, no, they want you to come up within the company to get to that level, which, I mean, I can respect to a certain extent. But then I'm like, you know, so you're saying that again. So then again, there's no point for me to go back to where I was to start over. If I'm going to start over, then I might as well learn something and do something different. It's been frustrating. Like, I'm like, then people, I've been told, like, dumb down my resume. And I'm like, what do you mean dumb down my resume? Like, how do I dumb down my resume? Well, try not to make it look like you have all this experience. So I'm like, I had to explain. I'm like, well, if I say I was somewhere for 17 years and I only made it to this level, I'm like, you know how bad that looks? That I was only at this level. You've been somewhere this long and you only made it here. Like, that doesn't look good. Like, I'm like, how do I can't discredit my own, like, experience. So I'm like, yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. I'm like, they're like, don't tell somebody how many years experience you have. Just tell them, just tell them your experience. And I'm like, okay. So, but then they look at my resume, and again, I've only been in the army, and then, so, like, I show my resume, right? Like, this is what's funny. I go to a job interview and I show my resume, and they're like, "Where's the rest of it?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" and they're like, you've only I worked at Jiffy Lube, and they're like, you only been at Jiffy Lube, and I'm like, yeah, look at how many years I was there though. And I'm like, at the time, I'm only 45. Like, and so I was in the army. I joined the army at 21. I stayed there until 25, 26, and then I got in. My next job was Jiffy Lube, and I was there 17 years. Like, I'm like, I'm like, I don't know what you what you want me to tell you. Like, I'm only 45, but I don't know. Even Lexi's job, I tried to apply at Lexi's job when she was in Florida. She was at a storage facility. I tried to apply there, interviewed with the district manager, and he tried to discredit me. And then I tried to apply at the one she's here, and now it's frustrating because she's in a leadership position. So I couldn't even work there because now she's in a leadership position. So you can't work for that. Yeah, people are weird. Like, I'm like, I had people that like, dude, you're not working. I'm like, I can only work if somebody hires me, bro. Like, what do you want me to do? So it's frustrating. That's why that comment that person made the other day, that why I felt like I had to say my piece, because it's just so frustrating. Like, you guys, like, not you guys, but people see, this 24 hours in a day. You see maybe 20 minutes of my life, and people make all sorts of assumptions. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. And then, it's crazy because when Lexi was hiring, when she was interviewing, like, there's so many people that wouldn't show up for interviews, or they show up like she swore one person showed up high as hell. Like, she strung, they were on something. Like, all this, and I'm like, wow, like, I go in. So I said it before many times. I went into a job, I went into a cookout here in North Carolina, which is a fast food restaurant, if you don't know. I went into a cookout, and I went into it, and they sat us in a room, and they gave us a 30-minute presentation on how whoever's hired is going to have to go through a 7-week training program, and blah, 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 whatever. So I'm like, all right, like, whatever. Like, I didn't work in the fast food industry, so I'm like, cool. You willing to train? Like, hell yeah. It was for a restaurant manager position, and so then they started the interviews, and I was the last person that they interviewed. And I get up there, and they're like, "Oh, tell us about your restaurant experience." And I'm like, "Well, I don't have any." They're like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Well, this is where I worked, and these are the similarities between what I did and what this is." And they were like, "Oh, okay, well, if we're interested, we'll hire you." And I'm like, "That's it?" And they're like, "Well, you don't really have experience." And I'm like, "You just sat us in a room for 30 minutes and explained to us how we're gonna have to go through a 7-week training program." Like, I have leadership experience. I've managed stores, I've managed teams, I've dealt with customers. Like, how much different could it be? You're gonna train us how to do the cooking. And they never called me. And it just that's what I've been getting this whole time. Well, you don't have experience in this, or you're overqualified, or whatever. And I'm like, you know, so that's what it's been like. So now I'm like, well, I work from home now, and I learn what I'm doing, and I try to make the best of it, and I help out in other way. I do other things now that to pull my weight. Yeah, like, exactly. I feel like they want you to beg, and I'm like, you know. And then let me tell you something. There there are people in leader, like, I've have you ever have you ever I don't know any of you guys' work experience, but have you ever gone for something like a position or something, and then the person interviewing you, like, you ever get offended by the person interviewing you? Like, I've been interviewed by people for jobs that I'm like, this is the person interviewing me? Like, how disrespectful. So I went to, I was in Florida and I went to go work. I applied to a Jiffy Lube franchise in Florida. And when they found out that I was with a friend, that I had all my life has been with Jiffy Lube, they were excited. I get scheduled for an interview immediately, which I was like, great, right? So the district manager sets me up for an interview, and then he sets me up for an interview on a day that he's having a meeting with all his store managers. So I get to the interview, and I'm sitting out in the parking lot I wasn't even allowed in the building. I couldn't even go sit in the lobby. I had to sit in my car for an hour without an explanation, without a without a I didn't get a sorry for being late. I was supposed to be there. The interview was supposed to be at 11 o'clock. My interview didn't start to after 12. Um I finally get up there, and he's like, no apology, no nothing. Why he made me sit out in the parking lot for an hour. And then he asked me what franchise I was with and looked me dead in the face. And he was like, "Oh, we don't hire people from your franchise, from that franchise." And I'm like, why? And I was like, well, we have really bad experiences. Like, you guys don't have a really good name. I was like, wow, okay. And then, proceeded to discredit all my experience and stuff. And and that was it. I was like, and this is the person. First of all, how unprofessional you were to have me waiting in the parking lot for an hour, and you have the nerve to tell me that you don't think I'm qualified to do what I did. So yeah, I mean, you know what, Miss Mirage? Like, I I've I look, I'm gonna say it like this: is that and sorry if I take it somewhere that you're not comfortable with, but I believe I believe I'm a man of faith. I believe I'm not a I'm not the perfect Christian. If Christianity was a 1 to 10 scale, like I'm like a 2. But I believe that God is God, and God does things for a reason. And through the process that I've lived with over the last 2 years, I've had a lot of things stripped from me. Um, I lost both my cars. I lost my house for a period of time. I lost my license. Um, like I've had everything that I considered a luxury stripped from me. The only thing that was not taken away from me was the exact stuff I needed to make content. Like, I never lost. So even the cameras that I had, I wound up having to sell. But my cell phone, my iPhone, um, which if you watch my content, then I'm sure you agree that it looks great, right? So my iPhone, my microphones, my laptop, my iPad, like I never lost the equipment I needed to make content, but I lost my ability to, move around freely and stuff like that. So I felt for a long time, I'm like, well, maybe this is exactly what I need to do. And maybe that God stripped me of everything that was distracting me so that I can focus on doing what I was supposed to be doing. And that's why I believed it. And nobody else believed that. Nobody else wanted to hear that. And I'm like, what do I I couldn't even afford the insurance, my car payment, which is why I lost my car. I couldn't get my tags updated. Like, I'm like, there was so much that, I wound up losing that I was like, the only thing I can do is sit in front of this camera and talk. And I'm like, well, maybe this is exactly what I need to be doing. And like I said, for a long time, nobody wanted to hear that. No, nobody wants to hear a man. Like if I was a woman, and and not to, not, I'm not arguing. I'm not trying to take this somewhere. But if I was a woman, I don't think anybody would argue the fact. But because I was a man and I was going through this, like nobody wanted to accept that. Nobody wanted to hear that. And I'm like, and it was so stressful because I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm putting in the applications, I'm going to the interview. I've been on interviews that were like 3 and 4 rounds, and then I get to the fourth round, do the interview, and get ghosted. Aldi's did that to me. Mattress Firm did that to me. Like, so many places would take me on multiple levels, and then McDonald's told me they'd love to hire me, and we'll call you when we have an interview spot for you. And you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. So all I have to do is to make this content. And so I felt like, well, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I do it now. But the difference is, when you're living in somebody else's house, or when you're on somebody else's time, you kind of have to do what they want you to do. And so now that I'm here, I make the little bit of money that I make. I, give the Lexi I'm like, here, whatever bills you can pay for this, do it. And I do what I can do to the best of my ability, which is why, again, that comment stung, because it's like, I don't know how much. I'm a solo creator. Like, I put out a lot of content by myself, and I don't know, so yeah. So exactly, when the interviewer is not qualified to interview, I've seen it a lot, that I've been like, I'm like, this is the person. Like, wow, like how this is a slap in the face. Exactly, cooking in the kitchen takes time. So, you know, I just I do what I do, and I, like I said, and the thing is like, if I wasn't consistent, if I was doing, putting out a video a month, or whatever, then yeah, I would totally understand, where people's arguments are, like, but I put out a lot of content, like, for a guy doing this by himself. Like, I I don't have a team, like, I don't have editors, and there's nobody recording for me, and like, I do everything on my own, planning to execution to marketing, I do on my own. So, you know but that's the thing, is that, no matter what you do, like, nobody's gonna see the vision that you have, because, truth be told, is that God didn't show them that vision. He showed it to you. So if you listen to people, if you listen to, and no matter what it is that you're gonna do, no matter what you do, no matter what your dreams are, you're gonna suffer through it. That's just the way it is. No matter what your dreams are, you're gonna suffer through it. It's not gonna be easy. And if you listen to people who, you know, that tell you otherwise, then you'll never do it. So that's why, like, you don't listen to your family and friends. Listen to people who are where you are trying to be. Like, those are the people you need to focus on. You know. So like I said, I tried. But you have to start somewhere. You got to be somewhere. So, but no matter what your dreams are, you're gonna suffer through it. It's not gonna be easy. If you doubt yourself, if you're wondering if it's not gonna work, if it's stressful, if it's frustrated, then you know what? Welcome to entrepreneurship, because that's what it is. No matter what it is that you do, you talk to entrepreneurs everywhere. Anybody who's ever made it, they'll tell you they did it for years before they started seeing the light. Before they gain returns. You're in it 4 or 5 years before you're like, oh shit, I broke even. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is. So, you know, and if you've, I tell people all the time, like, if you've never, if you know, if you've never been anywhere, if you've never attempted to do something, then yeah, you didn't fail, but you didn't try either. Like, it's easy to not fail when you don't try anything. You know, so People don't have to agree with, what I chose to do, but you're gonna respect it. You're gonna respect what I chose to do and my hustle towards it, and the commitment I have to doing it. Like I said, I do this. This is what I do every day, day in, day out. I don't even have a I don't even have a normal sleeping pattern because I'm up till sometimes 2, 3 in the morning planning content, trying to you know come up with ideas and stuff like that, and then I sleep for a few hours. I'm up around the time Lexi's getting ready to go to work, and then I crash out for a couple more hours, and then I'm up vlogging the rest. Like that's what I do all day long. Well, I guess because they feel like if there's not a if there's not a certain amount of people watching, then it's considered a failure. And it's like, again, I have to start somewhere. Like you want me to turn on a YouTube channel and have 1 million subscribers already. Like I have to start somewhere. I appreciate you, bro. High five and fist bump to you, homie. But so I've been at this a long time and I haven't given up. So I'm determined. I've never not hit a goal I've set for myself. Not once. Not once. Anything I've ever wanted to accomplish, I've never not accomplished it. And that's because I don't give up. I don't give up. If it's something I really want to do, I do it. So it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. From your lips to God's ears, and I tell you, I hope so. But I mean, like I said, I've made it. Here, I've got to this point where all of you fantastic people are, here. A year ago, I didn't even have this. So that tells me that you keep going, like it'll go. But like I said, people don't see the grind. They don't see the build. They don't see the build. And then one day they'll they see it. They see where you're at. And they're like, oh shit, it happened overnight. You're like, nah, dude. Like you didn't see all those sleepless nights. You didn't see all that time I was in the hotel room, almost about to sleep in my car. Like you didn't see all that. It didn't happen overnight. I promise you. Like this was time, energy, sweat, tears. Like this was all of that. And I love when people will tell, well, you need to get a real job. I'm like, you say that because you don't know the kind of effort it takes to do what I do. You're fine. I'm sure that people are like in the background, just, you know, cooking or cleaning and just listening to me talk, which is awesome. That's fine. That's fine. But you know what I mean? Like, people don't, I'm like, you think this is easy? Like, go ahead, start a channel. Start a channel and put in as much videos as I have. Like, see what happens. See how much effort that takes. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot. And it's not easy to put yourself out there. For somebody to critique and, you know, talk smack about. Like that ain't easy. So, you know, but I love to do what I do, man. I love it. It's an out. Like I said, it's an outlet for me. I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't have this. And I live on YouTube because I don't. I'm not a s- I'm not a spectacle kind of guy. Like I like telling stories. I like connection. I like doing that, and I feel like YouTube is the best place for that. I'm not a really. I don't really like. I don't want to say I don't like shorts, but shorts is not where I live. Like I'm not a. I don't do uh dopamine. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a quick dopamine hit, and then I'm somebody that you sit down and you vibe with and you connect with, and you have these conversations, and like that's where I live. So that's what I do. So you know, but I just I love doing what I do and having these conversations and talking real life, and people like Miss Eva, who's like, yeah, I've been there, like I know that struggle. I know what that's like, you know, and she roots you on to get yourself out of it, to pull yourself out of it, to do something, that means a lot. Like that means more than most people know, because if there's one thing I learned from all of this is that, you can be at the top of the world, and overnight shit can go left. You know what I mean? Shit can go left real quick. And so anyway, I'm sure you're tired of hearing all of that. But sorry to get so deep on you guys. But sometimes, it's sometimes I feel that way, and I don't get to say it, and I don't get to share it because I don't want to come off uh like a Debbie Downer or something like that. But that's why I make my content about real life. Like I don't show flashy stuff. I don't pretend. I don't put on a persona, and I'm just this is like what you see is what you get. Like you can either understand it and respect it, or feel free not to watch. Like so, you know. But I feel like most people these days want to see that. They want they want to vibe and connect with somebody. They want to you know grow with somebody. They want to see somebody. They want to root for somebody trying to do something positive, and not oh, here's the Lamborghini I'm driving today, and what are you doing, Bill? But so that's what's up. But yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I'm done with that. Like I'm like it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So I feel like, and his I feel like people follow rules. Everybody, they follow rules that they made up, and I don't mean the people. I mean they. So it's like society says that. Okay, who's society? So how many people in the world you think are doing what they say you should be doing? Like how many people? And then why are we listening to they? And they say like you should be doing this by this, or you should have that by this time, or you should be here, and you should like. Why are we listening to they? How many of those people who say that actually have what they say you're supposed to have? It's like, why are we? Thank you, Miss Mirage. I'm gonna check out your videos. I understand you now. What do you mean? What do you mean, Miss Mama? You don't understand what I'm saying? And you're back, by the way. Hey. So you're saying that you don't understand what I'm saying? But I feel like people like, that you're focusing on that. Like how many people's lives are actually like that? Like why are you focused on what somebody else says you should have or you should be doing by a certain time? Like life isn't a race. Like it isn't a race. Like you do what you do when your time comes, and you do. If it's meant for you to have, it's meant for you to have. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean any less if you do it at 24 or 64. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't mean anything less. We're focusing on, like, oh, well, they say, well, who's they? They doesn't exist. And, I just got to the point where I told myself that, like, they don't exist. It's like you're focusing on something that somebody else says, or you're focused on what somebody else has, and you're like, well, like, you ain't finna be what they are. Like, you not trying to do what they doing. So why are you focused on what they got? Oh, okay. You're tracking like a four-headed VCR, Miss Mama. But that's an old military saying. But you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that. Like, people focus on you're focusing on this person and what they got and what they're doing, and you're like, yeah, but that's not what you trying to be. So why are you focused on that? And then I've said this before in videos, like, everybody, it's the Tarzan effect. Like, where not everybody starts with the same vine to swing on. Sometimes, some people are lucky where their vine swings halfway through the jungle, but that doesn't happen for everybody. You have to take the vine that goes where it goes for you, and then learn what you need to learn there, and then take the next vine where it goes, and eventually, little by little, you're moving. But you let they tell it, and they tell you, oh, well, you need to, the quickest way to get to some place is a straight line. That isn't always the case for everybody. So what are you supposed to do? Oh, you got to get a degree. But what if you're not a school person? Like, what if you're not? I was never a school person. Like, that just wasn't me. So does that mean that I can't succeed? Does that mean that you can't be what you want to be? Like, so that's I don't listen to Day. I don't. I'm like, it's on my video. It's I don't remember the title of the video, but it's this. I have a vlog where I talk about it. It's called the Tarzan effect, right? So think of life as a jungle, and the object is to get, right, like Tarzan, is to get from one side of the jungle to the other. Now, again, everybody would tell you that they will tell you that the quickest way to get across the jungle is in a straight line, right? We've all heard that before. Way the quickest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line. But that isn't always possible for everybody. And what discourages people is that when they say do this, and you're like, but I don't have that. So now people feel defeated because what they're being told and what they're seeing. Like, think about it. You ever followed instructions like for a computer, like to do something or whatever, and you ever look at the instructions and then what you see is not matching? Like, how frustrating is that? Like, you're following directions and you're like, okay, well, my directions don't match what I'm seeing. That's frustrating. And that's what happens with like all these, like 90% of self-help books and all these guru books and stuff like that. They tell you there's like, oh, well, this is what you need to do. And you're like, well, dude, like, I don't have that, bro. Like, I'm on step one and I'm already discouraged because you're telling me to start somewhere I'm not where. Because not everybody starts at the same vine. Not everybody has that same vine to go through. So you have to take the vine that you have and take it where it goes based on your life. It'll move forward, but not in the distance that you think it will. So where you think you're going to move like this, sometimes your distance is like that. And eventually it moves forward, but little by little. And eventually you look back and you're like, oh shit, I'm on the other side of the jungle. And I think that that's what used to discourage me, is that, I would get somewhere. I'm like, that, you're telling me, there's like, oh, well, how to invest. They're like, well, how to invest, how to make $1 million investing. And they're like, oh, take $1,000 and put it here. And you're like, already step one, I'm discouraged because I'm like, dude, I don't have $1,000, bro. Like, that's why I'm looking at this book so that I can make you know what I mean? Like, And those gurus, what they don't tell you is like how many people buy your book versus how many success rates you have. They only talk about the success rates. And yeah, and that's what's important to them. That but like base that on how many people bought your book. Because yeah, if 1,000 people bought the book and you have 500 success rate or 300 people success, then yeah, that sounds great. 300 people. But what about the other 700 that bought your book that it didn't work for? That's not to say, I'm not saying that those people are wrong and their idea is wrong. I'm saying that everybody is not in the same position. We're all in the same ocean. We're not in the same boat. I hate that phrase. Oh, we're on the same boat. No, the hell we're not. Some of us are in yachts and some of us are in canoes. So you have to literally do what works for you. You have to find the way that works for you. And that's going to look different depending on what you do. It's going to look completely different. Even if two of you, like how many people are in it? There's eight people watching me right now. There's 8 people here right now. So let's say 3 of you wanted to be rocket scientists. Your journey to that destination is all going to look different, even though you're doing the same, even though you want the same goal, because you guys are in different spots. I don't know. It makes sense. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling anybody what to do or whatever. And I'm just saying, like, this is the realization that I came up with, that I realized, at least for my situation and what got me through, when I stopped trying to follow a template of what worked for somebody else. People are like, oh, just do this. You see that shit on YouTube all the time. Like, this is how I did it. Just copy it. And like, what worked for you is not going to work for me. The chances of it working for me are slim. Right. They didn't think about your situation when they wrote that book. They didn't think about, you struggling, working a 9 to 5 or having to have 3 jobs to pay rent, or, like they didn't have that in mind when they thought of you, when they wrote that book. You got to do what works for you. Whatever works for you is the right way to do it. And and I tell you something else that bothers me is that don't nobody know what the hell works. Don't know nobody what works. Don't nobody know shit what works. You experiment. That's why they tell you, real successful people tell you, experiment. Find what works. And then when it works, double down on whatever works. Try a bunch of shit. Whatever sticks on the wall, then you keep doing that over and over again. But until you find that, you experimenting, baby. Like, you're going to keep throwing stuff at the wall until you find out whatever works for you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to turn into that. Like, I just got into a rant. Right. But right. Like, you listen to people. If you listen, like, if you take YouTube specifically, right? If you listen to these gurus, they give you vagaries. Like, they tell you, they tell you post consistent, or they tell you post, like, make sure you create high value content. Okay, well, what's high value content? What's considered that? The reason why you can't tell me what that is because that's different for different people. But those gurus, people flock to them, and they're the ones growing, right? Because they're preaching these things, these vague ideas. They're preaching these vague ideas, and people are growing. It's like, okay, well, what does that mean to who? What's high value to somebody else? It's different to, it's different depending on the niche. It's different depending on who you are and who's watching, and like, it's all different. Right. Exactly. So nobody knows, man. Nobody knows what works. Nobody comes in and has a damn cheat code of what works. Like you just gotta find what works for you. And then when you find when you find what works, do that shit repeatedly over and over again. So, I mean, and that's what I do. Like I just trying to find my way, find my way and whatever works, and I double down on what works. I do it over and over again. I'm like, okay, well, this is what worked, so let me keep doing it. You know, people tell you another thing I disagree with is that there's a book that's like it's called the growth mindset, and that tell you that it pretty much tells you like everything is possible, and you just got to put the effort in and train yourself or whatever, and like I feel like that's only partly true. Like I built, people tell you, well, I don't believe in talent, I believe in hard work. That's only partly true. Like you have to be talented you have to be gifted at something that you're doing. You have to be gifted at it. Hard work alone, if hard work alone was enough to make you successful, then everybody who has a 9 to 5 would be millionaires. But it's not it. You have to be gifted. You have to find your gift, whatever it is that you're gifted at, and do that and put the hard work into that. So when people do stuff and they try stuff and it doesn't work out, it's because that's not what your gift is. Like you're trying to do something you're not gifted at. If you're not gifted at it, it's not going to work. It doesn't matter how much hard work you put into it. I wanted to be a basketball player when I was a kid. I thought I was the next Jordan. You couldn't tell me crap. You couldn't tell me. I used to stick my tongue out and everything. But guess what? I wasn't gifted at it. I couldn't run, I couldn't jump. And no matter how much I trained, just wasn't me. I used to love to sing. I love sing. To this day, I love singing. Like I love singing. Every time I drove, I was in the studio. Every time I was behind the wheel, I thought I was in the studio. I love singing. But guess what? I wasn't Luther Vandross. I wasn't Michael Jackson. No matter how much I tried, I wasn't. You have to be good. You have to be talented at something. And then you put the hard work into that. This is what I'm good at. Let me put in my time into doing this. Anyway, again, sorry if I went on a little rant. Like I didn't mean for it to go, but I guess this was just stuff that I wanted to say for a long time that I tell myself, and I have these conversations with myself more times than not. And you know, I don't have I don't have nothing to do but think a lot of times. So, and these are the things I think about. But I think, it works for me. That's what I do. So you said you buy the Los book. I don't know if I ever read a book, but I'm making some burgers tonight. And so the last time I made burgers, I made them from scratch. Like I bought the ground meat and then like I had to, put the egg and the milk and all that stuff in. But this time Lexi bought the ground beef burgers, not frozen patties, but the ground beef that are already shaped like patties. And so I'm thinking, and I'm hoping she's not in here watching this so she doesn't hear me say what I'm about to say. But I'm thinking I would love to make bacon burgers with a fried egg and lettuce and tomatoes and stuff like that. So that's what I'm thinking for dinner. and some salad because we ate the French fries. Like I made so my daughter taught me this meal. She didn't teach it to me. She just made it for me, and it's not something that I've never not done before. But it's the way she presented the meal that made it different. So instead of like all she did was make eggs, bacon, hash brown, and some cheese. Now I would have put that on a plate and laid it out and did it separately, but my daughter made it like a bowl. She usually eat it with French fries, but she made it for me with a tater tots. But she made it in a bowl, and it was so good. I was like, I can do that. And so the very next morning, I did that for Lexi. I went and bought everything I needed, and I cooked the bacon. I bought some frozen fries and put them in the air fryer, and then I fried some eggs, and I put it in a bowl, and then I crushed up the bacon and put it. And Lexi has been so in love with that she's asked me since I gave it to her the first time. She's asked me to do it. I don't know, at least 6 or 7 times already. I'm like, what do you want? She's like, I want breakfast, and that's what she wants. So it's I love it. Like it's great. It's fun to eat, and it's so I mean, it's time consuming because it takes me. I can't cook the bacon with the eggs, and so that's what takes its time. But I mean, it's simple. It's just frying the bacon and frying the eggs, and then the French fries go in the air fryer. So it's really fun. But she's been so into that. So, but I'm gonna make bacon burgers with a fried egg on top, and then some lettuce and tomatoes, toast the buns with butter, and then I guess we're gonna have a salad with it or something because we're out of frozen fries. So I don't know what else to do with those, but that's what's for dinner tonight. And she said to me, she's like, I really appreciate it. You could really tell you're having a good time cooking. And I said I still don't like cooking. Like still not a fan of cooking, but I'm the type of person that I believe that if you're gonna do something, then you do it to the best of your ability, no matter what it is. You do it to the best of your ability. So, I want, as a man, I know how important it is for me to come home to a good meal, and so I want to do the same for her. So, I mean, I enjoy cooking for her. I couldn't do it like a profession or something like that, but I enjoy doing it for her. Coming home, she coming home and she comes home, I put her in a shower, and by the time she's out of the shower, dinner's being served, and watching her take that first bite, it's an amazing feeling. So I love it that way. I love it. I love doing that for her. So you know, and I like sharing it, and not because I want to turn my channel into a cooking channel or a food channel, but just I'm learning something new, or I'm realizing that I really did have a knack for this, and so it's fun. It's like, oh, look what I did today. Like I tell you, the most favorite meal I did so far was the chicken and waffles, and it sounds so simple, right? Because all I did was you know uh, 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 fry some breaded chicken. Right, I made some breaded chicken, and then I put waffles in the toaster. I would have loved to do them from scratch, but she's like, it really is the same shit. Like, if you can make pancakes, you can make waffles. She said. So I was like, oh well, it's no big deal. So we bought some like thick and fluffy waffles. I put them in the toaster, and then I served it like that. And we've never had that before. So when I served her the meal, she looked at me like, she's like, "This is a Southern thing, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Have you ever had it?" She said, "No." I said, "Me either." I said, "I've never had this before," and it wound up being really good. It wound up being really good. It was something. I was like, "Would you like me to do that again?" She was like, "Yeah." She was like, "That was really good," and it was really filling. Like I wouldn't have imagined that it was as filling as it was, but it was really filling. So yeah, like you like think you're like, dude, all you did was make chicken and waffles, but it was so good. It was good. So it was something I would do again. Yeah, like it was. I was like, I've never had this before. I never had this before. I've told people they're like, you never had chicken and waffles. I'm like, no, I've never. I've seen it. I've seen Roscoe's chicken and waffles. Like I've seen it, but I've never had it. Oh, thank you, Mama. I enjoy it. Like I have fun with it's. I don't think like my daughter is a cook. Like she can literally do that for a profession. Like my brother's the same way. Like he can do that. That's not like I don't enjoy it to that much. Like I enjoy feeding my wife. You know what I mean? So and again, I believe that if you're gonna do anything, if you're gonna take the time to do anything, you might as well do it to the best of your ability. So I enjoy feeding my wife. So it's fun in that aspect. I like to surprise her, and she's like when I so so the day I had called her because we only have the one car and she works an hour away. So I called her. I was like, hey, I put an order in and this is what I need. And she was like, waffles? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, you making breakfast for dinner? And I'm like, nope. And I didn't tell her. So when she came in out of the shower and she saw what I was serving, and she was like, I said, you ever had this before? She was like, no. I was like, me either. We gonna figure it out. And so I mean I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I'm having it's a lot more fun when you have like a repertoire of things to do, you know what I mean? And then you guys, all of you have been so helpful, with ideas like try this, do this, put this in, stuff like that. So it's been really helpful that I'm like, oh, okay, let me try that. So in that aspect, it is really fun. It's really fun to try something new that she's never like. I made baked potatoes, and she asked me what she was like. What are you making today for dinner? So I told her, I said I need olive oil, and we don't have any. And she was like, well, you can use butter instead of olive oil. So I was like, all right. So she's like, what are you making for dinner? And I'm like, I don't want to tell you. And she was like, was this something that I've made before? And I'm like, I think you've made this before, but it's not something you've done often. And that's where I left it. So when she came home, we both love potatoes. Like we love eating potatoes in damn near every form that you can eat potatoes. But she was like, "Oh, okay." And so she was excited. She was baked potatoes. She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, you don't make this often." Right. Exactly, Mama. Like if you're gonna do it, you do it right. Like you do no matter what it is, do it right. And that's always been from my philosophy. Like if you're gonna do something, do it to the best of your ability. Like why I hate that's a harsh way to say it. Let me not say it like that. I hate when people half-ass shit. Like if you took the time to do it, dude, like take pride in what you do. I don't care if I was a janitor at a school. Those will be the cleanest toilet bowls you've ever seen. Like I'm that way. So I'm like, if you're gonna do it, like do it to the best of your ability. So she was like, it really shows in the food that that you're enjoying yourself. And I am. I love to feed her. Like I love, trying to impress her. Like, oh look what I did today. So and the funny thing is that my brother and my daughter are usually the people I call when I have a question. And my brother especially, he knows like my mother is a great cook. Like my mother's been cooking since she was like 13. And my brother growing up, he was in the kitchen with her. Like he would volunteer to help do this or do that. I wasn't I was never that guy. Like I was never into cooking. And I remember my mother told me, she was like, when you grow up, you better find a woman that knows how to cook because you're gonna starve. So it was never something I was into. And so my brother is a really good cook. Like he's a really good cook. And so I call him and he gets excited to help. He gets excited that I'm, trying to do something. And no matter what he's doing, he knows when I call him at a certain time that it's probably because I have a cooking question. And I call him and I'm like, hey, like I'm like, how do you do this? Or what do you do with this? And he gets into like break it down mode. He's like, all right, this is what you're gonna do. And So it's really funny. It's really exciting. So he gets excited, and I send him a picture, and I'm like, this is it, and he's like, hell yeah, dude, that looked great. So it's fun. But look, I'm gonna get off because I've been bumping my guns for the last, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. And I went on a whole tangent that I'm probably sure you guys didn't want to hear. But it's been 2 hours, and I'm gonna relax before I gotta cook dinner tonight. And I'm gonna be vlogging, so I actually need to like charge my phone and my microphones and stuff like that. So I appreciate and love all you guys for spending the time with me over the last couple hours. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Do me a favor, once once the live ends, if you can go back in and hype the video, you could do so up to, you have 3 hypes. You can do it across 3 different videos, or you can do it all at once within a week. So if you don't mind, go in and hype the video. Don't forget to share it. Like it if you haven't. And if you're new here, please subscribe. And I love you all. Thank you so much. And I will catch you guys probably tomorrow. I'll probably be on live tomorrow. So if you're not doing anything, pull up and cop a squat. I will catch you guys later. Peace.